Hi everyone, I have the latest Apple TV 4K device with me, which is considered as one of the powerful media streaming devices out there. This device is available in India for around 18,000, but my friend bought this from US for 10,000. I have been an Android TV user for more than 3 years now, and the major complaint for me about Android TV has always been the performance. Hardware is not the strongest suit of an Android TV, with Shield TV being an exception. But the Apple TV device here comes with the powerful A12 Bionic chip to give smooth experience. So I thought to borrow this from my friend to test and share my views with you guys. Does a powerful processor really make the difference? Let's find out. This is the retail packaging of the Apple TV second generation device. For users who thought that the Apple TV is actually a TV manufactured by Apple, then surprise. It's a media streaming box with Apple TV OS that can be connected to any TV with HDMI cable. It's similar to a Fire Stick or a Mi box. The box is pretty minimalistic with all white and Apple TV 4K written on one side and basic requirements on the other side. The one I have is the 32GB variant, but it also has a 64GB one, but I don't think it's not worth spending the extra money, as 32GB should be more than sufficient. On the back it has all the features which are 4K HDR with Dolby Atmos, Apple App Store for all the OTT apps, AirPlay for screen sharing, and support for AirPods. And in fact it supports output from 2 AirPods at a time. I don't even have one, so I'll test the AirPlay with iPhone and maybe try connecting my OnePlus Buds Pro. This is the Apple TV 4K box. It's compact, but it's heavier than I imagined. In fact, it's much heavier than the Shield TV Pro. Let's keep this aside and see what else is inside the box. There's Apple TV remote, which is pretty sleek and lightweight. The aluminium metal matte finishing gives it a premium look and feel. It has the Apple logo on the back. The D-pad on this can act like trackpad too, similar to iPods. Power button and mic on the top. Has back, home, play, pause and volume controls. There is also a button to activate Siri on the side. The lightning charging port is at the bottom to charge it, so you don't need to put batteries. Then there's the power cord. As this is a US model, the pin is different. For Indian variant, the plug would be what we regularly use. Quality of cable is nice and it's like a flat cable. Next in the box is the user manual and some Apple logo stickers. And finally the lightning cable with USB-A on the other side for remote charging. Thankfully it's not a lightning type on both sides. If not, someone without Apple charger at home would have to buy a power adapter. With this we can use any power brick to charge the remote. And there's no HDMI cable included inside the box, so you need to buy a high quality 4K or 8K cable if your TV and sound system can support 4K, Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos. I will link a few in the description. Let's get to the Apple TV device itself. It has the Apple logo on the both top and the bottom with glossy sides. The ports are placed on the back side, one for power, one for HDMI output and one for LAN. The LAN port is a gigabit one, so you can go above 100 Mbps. It doesn't have any USB port or anything to connect other devices. It's time to connect it to the TV and set it up. Now I have the Apple TV 4K connected to my OnePlus TV Q1 Pro. Once we press the power button on the Apple TV remote, if your TV has the HDMI CEC, it will automatically switch to Apple TV interface too. Select the language you prefer and then it asks for a region. It automatically detected the region and it even asked to switch the display format to match India content. Basically this would choose 50Hz refresh rate instead of 60. But I suggest to select keep current format. Finally, setting up your account. You need to have an Apple ID and iTunes account for using the Apple TV. So if you don't have them, create before you start this process. If you have an iPhone, you can set up the TV easily without having to enter the account details and Wi-Fi details. If you don't, you can use the remote to enter them manually. I'm going to use my wife's iPhone for setting it up. Turn on Wi-Fi and Bluetooth on your iPhone and get it near to the Apple TV. And it will be detected by the phone for starting the setup. Just enter the 4-digit authentication displayed on TV into the iPhone and it will automatically set up the TV with the account linked to iPhone and connect the TV to your Wi-Fi. Select always required for password for app purchases, but later in the settings change it to no for free purchases, so that you don't have to enter the password every time you install even a free app. Also, if you use an iPhone for setup, it automatically opens Apple TV remote on the phone for controlling the TV with the phone. The interface of the remote on the phone is pretty minimalistic and you get almost all the features to control the TV. Skip the TV provider option as it doesn't work in India. Select the room it's located in so that you can identify it for smart control later. Next, the famous video screensaver, which provides high quality beautiful drone footages from around the world on your screen. If you have unlimited data, then you should select it. Finally, this is the Apple TV home screen. It comes with minimum pre-installed Apple apps. Has some app-based content recommendation cards on the top of the home screen and the list of apps installed below that. This is unlike how we have seen on the Android TV and Fire Stick, which has the entire home screen filled with the content recommendations. This Apple App Store, which gives access to all the popular OTT and media apps we use in India, like Prime Video, Hotstar, Netflix, Sony Live, ZEE5, AHA, Plex, VLC, YouTube, so it covers most of the regular apps. Along with apps, it has a wide collection of games too. I have installed all the apps I would be using regularly, and the first thing I noticed on the Apple TV is the fluid UI. It's so smooth. The powerful A12 Bionic chip leads to no lag whatsoever. Added to that, the touchpad on the remote enhances the experience. Believe me, once I started using this touchpad, I missed it having it on my Android TV remote. This interface without a doubt is most fluid one I have used till now, even smoother than the Nvidia Shield Pro I have. The apps also load super fast. You can reach the homepage of any OTT app in almost half time of what it takes on an Android TV. Double tap on the TV key would bring the recent apps page to quickly switch between the apps. It has a great memory management and you can even swipe up to clear the apps from the background. In the picture settings of the Apple TV, you can see the options to select resolution, refresh rate and the HDR mode. This Apple TV supports Dolby Vision, HDR10 and with the recent update it even started supporting HDR10 Plus format, all up to 4K 60fps. 120fps is still not supported on this device. Let me set it to 4K Dolby Vision as my OnePlus TV Q1 Pro is capable for that. You can see the jump in the brightness with Dolby Vision. But generally it is suggested to select 4K standard dynamic range, which is SDR, and toggle these match dynamic range and match frame rate for the Apple TV to play the content in Dolby Vision or HDR only when the content supports it, and also to match TV's refresh rate to the content's original frame rate. Like if it's a movie which is generally of 24fps, the screen resets its refresh rate to 24 so that there are no artifacts in the playback. But there's one issue with this. The screen goes blank for a second to toggle the HDR or match frame rate every time there's a change in the type of content, which I find to be annoying. So I rather keep the HDR turned on always. Now with Dolby Vision you don't get the color calibration feature, but if you select 4K HDR, you can head to color calibration settings and calibrate the color output of the Apple TV using the iPhone's camera like this. As every TV has their own color settings, this helps in changing it to best suited as per Apple TV's output. With the side-by-side picture, it's evident that the color temperature and the tint of the Apple TV are adjusted. Video playback on the OTT apps is pretty smooth. It handles the high resolution and dynamic range pretty well without any stutters. As the TV supports Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos, the Apple TV is able to output both without a sweat. But do note that the Apple TV supports Atmos only in Dolby Digital Plus format and not lossless True HD. So if you want True HD audio resolution, then Shield TV would be the better one for you. And almost all OTT apps except Prime Video and YouTube use the Apple Player interface for playback. So the forward rewind with the trackpad is a bliss. With the Siri button on the remote, you can do basic stuff like asking about weather, time, opening apps. What's the time?
How's the weather?
And search for content from Apple TV app only, as Siri cannot search content across other apps in India. That's a sad thing though. But one great thing is that you can use the Siri button on the remote for voice to text input for searching on all OTT apps, which is something I miss on Android TV. Even the voice recognition was on point. If you're wondering if you can connect any Bluetooth earphones other than AirPods for audio, then absolutely yes. I used the OnePlus Buds Pro with it successfully, and even the play pause gestures were working totally fine. Apart from the media playback, Apple TV device is also known for its gaming. There are many free arcade games along with some good racing games, but only few support the gaming with the remote. Many games ask for first generation remote or a controller for gaming. So if you have a PS4, PS5, Xbox or Nintendo controller, you can pair them to Apple TV to enjoy gaming, or else adjust with the limited supported library with the remote. I played Asphalt 8 and there was no frame drop anywhere. Screencasting from iPhone is good, but it's not the best. Has some stutters. Normal content casting from iPhone is seamless though. You cannot cast content from apps using Android phone. You can however use apps like Allcast to cast local content from Android phone, but the experience isn't that great. The Apple TV 4K that I have runs on tvOS 15.6, but again after I shot the video there's tvOS 16 that also released, so updates are not something one should be worried with Apple products. So to conclude, Apple TV 4K is a great device for users who are looking for a powerful media streaming device with no stutters and lags, smooth experience, and also if you're already in the Apple ecosystem. But the asking price of 18,000 in India is definitely on the higher side. Maybe if your friend from US is coming back, ask him to bring one for you, as it's available at around 10,000 in US, so which is a steal price. Do note that it's not entirely bug free as I expected it to be. Video playback issue once after an update, no sound output from Atmos titles occasionally, and the screen blink with the matched dynamic range are a few bugs I faced in this period, as at the end it has to be connected to a TV which has its own software and limitations. If you want more features and flexibility in the Android ecosystem, then better go for a Shield TV Pro. So those were my initial impressions on the Apple TV 4K device. Let me know in the comments what you think about it and what are the features of the Apple TV you wish Android TV has. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more such content. Thank you. See you in the next video.